All right, I'd like to go ahead and call the meeting to order. If we could have everybody please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right. Can I have a motion to approve the present agenda?
So moved.
Mr. Heiser, can I get a
Second.
second, Mr. Chersky? Any discussion? All right, seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And any abstentions? All right, seeing none. Let's see. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the June 25th, 2020 Board of Education meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? I'll do roll call this time. I think it's a little bit easier. I forgot to do that the first time around. So all in favor, Mr. Chersky?
Aye.
Ms. Gibson is absent. Mr. Grandinetti?
Aye.
Mr. Heiser? Mr. Heiser, did we get your vote? Let's see, it looks like he's having a bandwidth issue. Let's see if we can come back to Mr. Heiser. Mr. Hersey?
Abstain.
Okay. Ms. Palmer?
I also abstain.
Mr. Peter?
Aye.
Mr. Tuttle?
Aye.
Ms. Urista?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? We have the two abstentions. That would be Mr. Hersey and Ms. Palmer. Let's see if we got Mr. Heiser. Mr. Heiser, we're just looking for your vote on the approval of the minutes of the June 2020 meeting.
It won't.
Yeah, we can hear you, Janet.
What?
We can hear you.
Oh,
Is it, all right, it is unmuted.
It is.
great.
Okay.
There it is.
That's all right. So we're, Mr. Heiser, we're just looking for your vote on the approval of the minutes from the June 25th, 2020 meeting.
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Let's see. Like to make a motion for the appointment of Michelle Reichert as district clerk per MC agreement for the period of July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021.
Move.
So moved.
Okay, you get a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. We'll go through roll call on this again. All in favor, Mr. Chersky,
Aye.
Mr. Grandinetti,
Aye.
Mr. Heiser,
Aye.
Mr. Hersey,
Aye.
Ms. Palmer,
Aye.
Mr. Peter,
Aye.
Mr. Tuttle,
Aye.
Ms. Urista.
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes. So next, we just want to point out that the district clerk will have 30 days to take her oath of office following this meeting tonight. For the record, Mary Arista filed her oath of office with the clerk on June 23rd, 2020. Kyle Hersey filed his oath of office with the clerk on June 30th, 2020. Charles Peter filed his oath with the clerk on July 6th, 2020. And Jason Chevier filed his oath with the clerk on July 6th, 2020. We'll now move on to item C. Let's see, we would like, item C, we need to take any nominations for the Board of Education President for the 2020-21 school year.
I'd like
Do
to
you have any
nominate,
nominations?
I'd like to nominate Mike Tuttle.
Tuttle?
Second.
We don't need a second on that. We're just taking nominations. Any other nominations for the Board of Ed President? Is there any other last call for any other nominations for the Board of Ed President? Okay, seeing none.
Need to nominate someone.
Seeing none, can I get a motion to elect Mike Tuttle as the Board of Ed President for the 2021 school year?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. We'll go roll call again. All in favor? Mr. Charsky?
Aye.
Mr. Grandinetti?
Aye.
Mr. Heiser?
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Hersey?
Aye.
Ms. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Peter?
Aye.
Mr. Tuttle?
I'll side my own fate as well.
Ms. Urista?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. And for the election for the Board of Education Vice President for the 2020-2021 school year. Any nominations?
I will nominate Mary Arista.
Any other nominations? Seeing none, can I get a motion to elect Mary Urista as the Board of Education Vice President for the 2020-2021 school year?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we'll do roll call again. All in favor, Mr. Charsky,
Aye.
Mr. Grandinetti,
Aye.
Mr. Heiser,
Aye.
Mr. Hersey,
Aye.
Ms. Palmer,
Aye.
Mr. Peter,
Aye.
Mr. Tuttle,
Aye.
Ms. Urista.
I suppose I should say aye.
All right, we had all in favor, motion passes. Congratulations, Mr. Tuttle and Ms. Urista. Thank you to everyone. We appreciate those nominations. So the president and the vice president should file their oaths of office with the district clerk within 30 days of the commencement of their term, which would begin this evening. Again, congratulations to the both of you. It is with great pleasure that I now turn the meeting over to the newly elected president. Mr. Tuttle, go ahead. You can take it away.
Great, thank you. All right. So a very lengthy section C, 3 coming up. What I'd like to do is take 3A separately, and then we'll tackle the rest after that. Reason being, these are appointments to committees for board members. So if everyone can take a look at their the document. I'll just go down the planning committees one by one. So for CES, well, actually, Let's go ahead with a motion. Is there a motion to accept item 3A with amendments?
So moved.
Don't you need to remove Bruce's name?
I think we have to motion it first, and then we can go ahead and change it, and then vote on it.
Okay.
Leave. Shelley?
The thing at the bottom where it shows Bruce's name was just a reference to show you who was on what committees last year in case people wanted to be on that committee again. So that's just a reference in there.
Okay, so in a sense, it's a clean slate. So if I can get a motion to approve it, then we can discuss it after. I can't motion it myself.
Okay, are you trying to move this to separate A from the rest of it?
I would like to move 3A, and then afterwards we'll discuss it, sign names.
So moved.
Oh, okay.
Second.
Yeah, I understand what you're doing now. Okay.
It's a motion to on the floor for 3A to move it.
Thank you. Got a motion, I got a second. So at this time, I'd like to discuss 3A.
Mike, was there a second?
Seconded it.
There was. Okay. Shelley, can you move the host up, to me, please? Thank you. Okay, so the first building planning committees, we have CES and we have the high school. The CES committee, we had myself, Sherry Gibson, and Chuck Peter. This year, I'm going to remove myself from that list. Sherry, I spoke, would like to stay on it. Chuck, would you like to stay on it?
Yeah, if no one else wants to be on it, I'll stay on it.
Okay, so I think having two on there is good. For the high school, we had previously Mr. Christie and Mrs. Palmer. Would both of you like to stay on?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay. For the professional development, Bruce held that position before. Anyone taking his position right now? No, all right. Let's come back. Technology committee, Bruce was also on that. Sherry would like to stay on. Is there anyone interested in the technology committee?
I'll do technology.
Thank you, Mary. Okay, should be good.
Mr. Tuttle, I don't mean to interrupt. Is there any way we could get everyone to mute and then unmute when they want to respond? There's a lot of feedback coming in.
Okay. That looks like it fixed. All right, so technology committee, we have Mary and Sherry on that one. The NISBA liaison, Mike, are you interested in staying on as that?
Yes, and I might suggest that would be a good one for Kyle Hersey to be involved with as well. I think that might be something from knowing a little bit of his background. He might be interested in that, and I think maybe us working on it together would be a good fit.
Kyle, thoughts?
Absolutely. I'd be more than happy to help out.
Okay. I think I agree with Mike. I think that's a good one for you, kind of in the background of government that you have.
Great. Absolutely.
Thank you. Health and safety was myself and Mr. Heiser. I think I'll stay on it. Mike, are you okay?
That's fine. I'll stay on that as well.
Okay. Audit committee, as I said, or before, I mentioned to you guys in an email that we would be adding in the finance, a little bit more finance into the audit committee, as like a quasi finance committee. So on that, we had Dan, we had Mike Charsky, and Chris. So Dan and Mike, are you both staying on that?
Absolutely.
I'm good, Mike.
Okay. Kyle, I think you were interested in that as well. There's not a problem with having three. We had three before. Sometimes one of us doesn't make it, so it's not really a bad thing.
I think after, oh, am I unmuted?
Oh, sorry. I did spend the last year staying on it as an ad hoc.
Okay, that's fine. Kyle, go ahead.
I think after considering it, I might be more interested at this point in serving on the policy committee as well.
Okay. All right. So do you want to hold off on the audit and maybe we circle back that maybe it's your second or third term?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So on the audit committee, we'll have Mr. Graninetti and Mr. Charsky, and Mr. and Mrs. Jurista. So three on that. Policy committee, we had Shelley and Chuck. Are both of you interested in staying on in the policy committee?
Yes, I am.
I'll stay on that too.
Okay. And we'll add you on, Kyle, as a third.
Great.
Perfect. And building visitation is all of us. So we'll go back to the professional development. I'll throw myself on that one and fill that hole. So I think that takes care of everyone. Is there anything I missed? Is there anything that anybody would like to get on it with that I didn't cover? Okay, looks like we're good on the committee.
Excuse me, Mike, can I just repeat it? There was a lot of interference and I'm afraid I may have missed someone.
Sure.
What I have is CES Building Planning Committee, Sherry Gibson and Charles Peter. The High School Planning Committee, Shelley Palmer and Mike Charsky. Professional Development, Mike Tuttle. Technology, Sherry Gibson and Mary Arista. NISBA, Mike Heiser and Kyle Hersey. Health and Safety, Mike Tuttle, Mike Heiser. Audit, Dan, Brandon Eddy, Mike Charsky, Mary Arista. Policy Committee is Kyle Hersey, Shelley Palmer, and Charles Peter.
I believe that is correct. I've got so okay, we're good, Shelley. Thank you. Okay, so with discussion over, I'm going to go ahead and take a vote on
it's 19 hours.
Moving item 3A. All those in favor of approving 3A? Mr. Charsky?
Aye.
Mr. Graninetti?
Aye.
Mr. Heiser?
Aye.
Mr. Hersey?
Aye.
Mrs. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Peter?
Aye.
My vote is aye. And Mrs. Jurista?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Motion passes. Is there a motion to approve items 3B through 3Y? Those include, there's plenty out in the list there.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion on items B through 3Y?
The Internal Audit Committee, is that one and the same as the Audit Committee? Or is it, this is the, Shelley, can you kind of explain what this is? Remind me.
That will be. The three things that
resolution?
we just put onto the audit committee, those names will go here.
Okay.
Any other discussion on any of the items 3B through 3Y? Okay, at this time I'd like to take a vote. All those in favor of approving items 3B through 3Y? Mr. Charsky?
Aye.
Mr. Graninetti?
Aye.
Mr. Heiser?
Aye.
Mr. Hersey?
Aye.
Mrs. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Peters?
Aye.
My vote is aye. Mrs. Jurista?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Can I get a motion to close the reorganization meeting and open the regular meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And at this time, we'll take a vote. Mr. Charsky?
Aye.
Mr. Graninetti?
Aye.
Mr. Hyde?
Aye.
Mr. Hersey? Mrs. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Peter?
Aye.
My vote is aye. And Mrs. Jurista?
Aye.
Passes. Okay, I'm gonna close the reorganization meeting and move into our regular meeting. On the regular meeting is our only report of the evening is the safety plan. I will turn it over.
Excuse me, Mike, we do need a motion. We do need a motion to close and open.
Okay, sorry about that. Motion to close, there it is. Just have to read. Can I get a motion to close the reorganization meeting and open the regular meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And at this time, we'll take a vote. Mr. Charsky?
Aye.
Mr. Graninetti?
Aye.
Mr. Hyde?
Aye.
Mr. Hersey? Mrs. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Peter?
Aye.
My vote is aye. And Mrs. Jurista?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. We are now in the regular meeting, and we will move into reports. Mr. Chevier.
All right. Everybody having fun so far? All right, so we do have one report on for this evening. We're going to talk to you annually. We have a requirement to present on the school emergency response plans. You will see at the end of this tonight, there's a 30-day comment period. Beginning tomorrow, the district-wide plan that is shared online that you've had time to review gets posted to.
Thank you. Motion passes. We are now in the regular meeting, and we will move into reports. Mr. Chevier.
All right. Everybody having fun so far? All right, so we do have one report on for this evening. We're going to talk to you annually. We have a requirement to present on the school emergency response plans. You will see at the end of this tonight, there's a 30-day comment period. Beginning tomorrow, the district-wide plan that is shared online that you've had time to review gets posted to the website for a 30-day comment period before you vote to adopt the plan in August. So we always try to present this in July, allow that 30-day comment period to run through August so that we can get our emergency response plans approved prior to the start of the next school year. The website for a 30-day comment period before you vote to adopt the plan in August. So we always try to present this in July, allow that 30-day comment period to run through August so that we can get our emergency response plans approved prior to the start of the next school year. There are planning requirements. So the school district is required to maintain a district-wide safety plan that is in. There are planning requirements. So the school district is required to maintain a district-wide safety plan that is implemented by the district-wide safety team. Tonight at our meeting, you selected board members to serve on the district-wide safety team. That team meets throughout the school year, usually quarterly, and it is comprised of employees, faculty, and staff from elementary and high school, along with implemented by the district-wide safety team. Tonight at our meeting, you selected board members to serve on the district-wide safety team. That team meets throughout the school year, usually quarterly, and it is comprised of employees, faculty, and staff from elementary and high school, along with administration and board members on that team to discuss issues that are impacting the district in terms of safety. In addition, each building maintains a building with administration and board members on that team to discuss issues that are impacting the district in terms of safety. In addition, each building maintains a building level emergency response plan and a building level safety team. Those building level safety teams meet within the buildings. They're building specific and they meet quarterly as well. Building level safety teams discuss issues that impact each building directly, and they building level emergency response plan and a building level safety team. Those building level safety teams meet within the buildings. They're building specific and they meet quarterly as well. Building level safety teams discuss issues that impact each building directly, and they talk about issues and topics surrounding safety that might need further discussion, review, or are of concern so that they can be looked into and addressed. Talk about issues and topics surrounding safety that might need further discussion, review, or are of concern so that they can be looked into and addressed. Building level emergency response plans are confidential documents. You will not see those plans posted as part of our district-wide safety plan. Those are confidential documents because they specify exact protocols and procedures. Building level emergency response plans are confidential documents. You will not see those plans posted as part of our district-wide safety plan. Those are confidential documents because they specify exact protocols and procedures that we would do in the event of an emergency. So those are kept confidential and only shared with folks that we are required to share those plans with. Every year that we would do in the event of an emergency. So those are kept confidential and only shared with folks that we are required to share those plans with. Every year, the plans must be updated to address changes in roles and responsibilities or significant changes in security procedures. As of tonight, you will see our copy of our district-wide plan. We do have a significant safety issue, global pandemic that is going on at the moment. And plans must be updated to address changes in roles and responsibilities or significant changes in security procedures. As of tonight, you will see our copy of our district-wide plan. We do have a significant safety issue, global pandemic that is going on at the moment. And we are currently working together to update all of our procedures for maintaining health and safety for faculty, staff, students, and any visitors. We're currently working together to update all of our procedures for maintaining health and safety for faculty, staff, students of the building. So we already do have some new protocols in place, but we will continue to work on making sure that we are staying in tune with the latest updates from CDC, New York State Department of Health, and any additional guidance we might get from the Rensselaer County Department of Health in addition to that. So more to come on that as we continue to work through our process. We will keep you posted, but currently, anyone entering the building and any of the buildings that you come to, we do have a screening procedure that takes place where we're asking questions about exposure to COVID. Temperature is taken and that is monitored daily. So it's a little challenging now. We have, as we've got folks that report at different times of the day, once we get back to a regular, somewhat of a regular schedule, even if it's modified in some capacity in the fall. During the busy times of day, we will man doorways and entryways and have folks that are there specifically to monitor and to look out for the best in everyone's best interest in terms of health and safety to provide that monitoring now. So, or in the fall, excuse me. So they do continue to change based on updates and guidance that we receive. Typically in a normal year, We work through any issues. If issues come up where it's deemed we need to make changes to the plan due to an incident that has occurred or a flaw in our plan that might have been recognized, we would make those changes, implement those changes, build them into the plan, and then train accordingly. So it is an annual and an ongoing process to evaluate our safety plan and then to drill and practice and respond to how we do during drills. The district-wide plan, unlike the building level plans, which are confidential, the district-wide plan is a public document that is really a philosophical statement that addresses our approach to preventing violence from a district-wide perspective. And it includes the following items that you see listed here on the slide deck: prevention and intervention strategies, identification of district resources, general procedures for contacting individuals during an emergency, policies for training and drilling, communication strategies, and a composition of the district-wide safety team and a designation of the chief emergency officer. Those are all statewide requirements for things that we need to have in our plan. As we shift and we look at the building level emergency response plan, and again, just as a reminder, the building level plans are confidential, and it's composed of a few different pieces. So the building level emergency plan is made up of the basic plan, which really kind of standardizes language and provides a framework for schools statewide. So we all have a basic plan that we are required to fill out in accordance with state guidelines. Then we have functional annexes and threat or hazard specific annexes that are included in the plan. And the functional annexes are really the operational functions and how we carry those functions out. And to ensure consistency, there's standardized definitions and suggested best practices. These best practices have changed over time. When we used to do some of our drills, we were taught how to do them one way. Over time, in collaboration with our health and safety consultants and other experts, we are given guidance on how we modify and change our response to certain plans based on feedback over time on what is best practice. So again, it is a plan where we begin the year with an idea of what we believe is to be best practice. We work on carrying out the training of those throughout the course of the school year for faculty, staff, and students. These are the things that you are probably familiar with hearing, such things as shelter in place, hold in place, evacuation, lockout, and lockdown. Specific language that needs to be utilized in there that's standardized for all schools across New York State. The next section, threat hazard annexes, really talk about the actions and best practices that are outlined in detail for what to do in the event of various emergencies. These might be specific to each building. For instance, to give you an example, this year we had to look at our threat hazard annex for our pandemic emergency response plan. That was an annex that we had in there. And as you can imagine, in most years, we know it exists there. We don't spend a ton of time looking at that plan, but it's there in the event a situation occurs. You can flip to that annex and look at exactly bullet by bullet point for how to respond to an emergency. Other things like natural disasters, tornadoes, you have a chemical spill outside of your school. Those are some scenarios that are included in the threat hazard specific annexes of the building level response plans, so that if a situation occurs, you can flip right to that annex, look at that specific situation, and have a bullet by bullet list of how to respond. The appendices of each of the plans include building floor plans for each of our buildings and information about our school response team members, students and staff that might have special needs or special plans that we work with those students to make sure that they can respond to those plans safely and they know what to do in the event of an emergency if they're unable to use the elevator or the stairs, let's say. So that information is included in the appendices. and information that is of appropriate staff to fill specific roles related to the incident command and response team. So we do have folks that need to help track attendance. We have individuals that need to keep attendance. There are certain roles and responsibilities that in the event we have a drill that we initiate, we might need to hold traffic at parking lots. So we identify who those individuals are. We work with those individuals so they know what they need to do, and their role is very clear in the event of an emergency. That is listed in the plan and identified in every year where we need to go through and either kind of like what we did tonight. We need to make sure either you want to continue to serve in that role, and if you don't, we find an adequate replacement for somebody to fill that role on the building level emergency response plan. The basic plan really consists, it's plan development, maintenance with a listing of building level teams. This plan is shared with local emergency responders, and we're required to share that with them by statute. So state police, local fire departments, other law enforcement agencies, any other law enforcement agency that requests our plan, that it's allowable, we do share that plan with them. The New York State Police is required to have these emergency response plans on file for all the schools that are within their jurisdiction. So we typically will share this with the Skodak Police, the barracks here in Skodak with the New York State Police there. New York State Police does keep on file records for all the schools across New York State. Plan review and revision. This is ongoing every time we run a drill. We typically, we walk with a group of administrators. Often you'll see us tweet out about our drill practice. We invite law enforcement to almost every drill that we conduct, with the exception of some fire drills. But we recognize it's practice for them, and it's good for our students to see emergency responders respond to drilled emergencies as well. We want our students to know that law enforcement, fire, all the individuals that respond are here to keep us safe and look out for our safety. We invite them to be part of our drilling process. It also includes the sites and types of emergencies, again, with the annexes that I just spoke to, the assignment of responsibilities, direction, control, and coordination. So we talk about the school incident command system, what that looks like. If you've ever been around when we drill, the incident commanders get these very stylish neon green vests that say incident commander across the back. We wear those so that it's clearly defined who's in charge when you have a lot of people outside potentially, or during an emergency, and that individual, any law enforcement that responds can easily identify who the incident commander at the site is and will deal directly with the incident commander. Again, we talk about coordination of resources, and that's identified in the plan. We talk about local sites and other facilities we might need to use in the event ours becomes inhabitable. We're not able to occupy our site for whatever reason. Where do we go and what do we do? And sometimes we need to work with community partners to identify best places to move in the event such an emergency should occur. And then there are outlined requirements for training and drilling in the basic plan. And again, the plan is confidential and can only be shared with law enforcement personnel. Additional appendices with names, numbers, locations, etc. Include communication, so specific names and phone numbers are included in the plan. We usually do look for cell phone numbers for employees and other folks that might be part of that, so that if necessary, we can get in touch with those individuals. We do identify clearly the incident chain of command and what that system looks like and who reports to who in the event of an emergency. And that's really to minimize confusion, create efficiencies during an emergency, and make sure everybody understands their role. Again, the emergency response teams, we do have emergency response teams and a crisis response team. So in the event that we have, God forbid, a passing of someone in our school community, our crisis response team might be pulled together to provide support within the school community, to provide additional support to students, faculty, and staff who might be struggling with a loss or another tragic event or an emergency, response to an emergency. That team is pulled together to provide additional support during that time of need. Any memorandum of understanding, again, if we have community partners, we typically do an MOU just so that we understand what the agreement consists of. If we need to use a facility during the day, evacuate one of our buildings and use another facility, we do need an MOU to make sure that guidelines and terms are clear. So those are updated and included in the appendices as well. We do have other things like master class schedules that are in there, buildings and grounds, local roadmaps, and students and staff with special needs that might need accommodations during any of our emergency plans. So those are all included in the appendices. Again, our emergency response actions, we have lockdowns and lockouts, shelter in place, hold in place, and evacuations. We get guidance that changes how often we drill and practice on some of these. I will tell you, there are differences between these drills as they're indicated. I can't get into the details of those with you, but they are all used for a variety of reasons. Probably the most popular one that most of you have heard about is our lockdown drills. If in the event you have an active shooter or somebody who is in the building to do harm, or it's a shooter or somebody who is irate for safety reasons, you might call a lockdown. And there are specific requirements that and training protocols that everyone would initiate. And then there are protocols for how you come out of that as well. So what you've seen that we typically try to do if we have a medical emergency in the building, we might call a hold in place. And we try to announce to our greater community when something like that happens. You'll see a message come out usually that says we initiated a hold in place today due to a medical emergency. You might have seen police cars or an ambulance. Please check in with your child to make sure, if they have any questions, but please know everyone is doing well and everyone responded, appropriately during something to that effect. But what we understand is, a lot of our students will have phones. If we call one of these drills, anxiety level goes up. We send text to our parents or somebody else saying, we're in a drill or we're in, an emergency response action has been called. I don't think it's a drill. I'm freaked out or I'm scared. So we try to follow up with some kind of communication to parents to alleviate any fear that parents might have that the child might be in some kind of danger. So, we do work with students and try anytime as we go through, we review these with students every year so they understand, but in the heat of the moment, when a hold in place, for instance, is called, students might not remember exactly why we call that emergency response. And so we typically will try to always protect the privacy of an individual who has had a medical emergency or something that might have happened. But we certainly want to let people know so that we don't have lots of phone calls coming into the school or parents showing up at the school concerned for their child's safety. As mentioned, every year we do have to have a 30-day comment period. It'll be posted to the district website, that district-wide plan. Any comments or questions can be forwarded to me through email or phone or written mail. And the plan would be that the Board of Ed will adopt at our meeting 30 days from today on August 6th, 2020. So Mr. Tuttle, that'll wrap it up for my report. I'm happy to take any questions if anybody has any.
Thank you for that. Any questions for Mr. Tevier about the safety plan? As you mentioned, that book is in the office. So if you'd like to take a look at it, just make an appointment with Shelley, and then you can get in and take a look at it in the office.
Mike, this is Mary.
Yes, Mary.
I just need a refresher on something. We had a situation where we had a concern brought to us by a parent on what happens after school in the transition to State Castleton kids and no monitoring of who came and went. And I recall that happened probably in this past, a year before last. What was done about that? And that's I'm bringing it up simply because it's a safety issue. And it might have to go into this. Don't know.
Mary, I'm not exactly sure I can recall off the top of my head exactly what you're talking about. I'm happy to connect and do some research with you and get back to you on that. I can do that if you're comfortable with that, certainly.
That's fine. That's fine. I just want to know what happened if we did anything about that concern. Probably, I remember distinctly that situation because it was a surprising one.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to connect with you and we can talk through that. And then we can follow up with the board certainly at next meeting if we would like to do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board about the safety plan? Okay. So at this time, let's move into our first public comment section. So for those who are on the phones, I'm told if you punch in *3, it will unmute your phone. So if there's anything you want to address the board with, please at this time you can press *3 and I'll call on you. So I don't see any of the mics go off, but in the event *3 is not working, I'm going to go ahead and unmute everyone just for a second here to find out. All callers are unmuted. If there's anyone that wanted to say anything, identify yourself. We did not work. Okay, I'll take this. No comments. Mute everyone again. All right, this time we will close public comment and move into board discussion. Board members, are there any members who have an item for discussion this evening? See no hands. No one mutes, so we will move out of board discussion and move into district updates.
I have a question, Mike.
Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Do we have a confirmed date for our retreat yet?
Yes, it's actually in the calendar. It is the 15th next week.
And we're going to do it by video. Is it the 4 o'clock one?
It would be 6 o'clock, 6 to 8.
Okay.
On the 15th. And we will do that one virtually.
Okay. Great. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mike. Okay, let's move into district updates. Mr. Chevier, do you have something for us?
Yeah, I have a couple of items. I think since our last meeting, we had a successful graduation Just want to make mention, I think it's important with all the restrictions that were placed upon us. I want to give kudos and credit to Ms. Hill and the team from the high school, Mr. Leclerc, his facilities team. It was truly a team effort to pull graduation off. We held it on the interior of the track and had boxes painted. Everybody was socially distant. Everybody was required to wear masks, hand sanitizing stations. We had one individual, myself, handing out diplomas. It was quite a well-oiled machine and really went off very well. We're very proud of the team, and we were happy to be able to give our senior class and our parents a very appropriate graduation ceremony. I do want to mention it was followed by a parade throughout the community, which I think there was some reservation. I'm going to go out on a limb. I think not all of our seniors thought that the parade was going to be like a really cool event. But I got to tell you, and all my time here, it was a very moving thing to do for these students, and I think overall for our greater community. It was unbelievable to see the amount of people that came out with signs and noisemakers, and little kids came out to cheer on the seniors. And it was really touching. It was pretty awesome, and it really felt like we did something special that night, not only for our graduates, but for the greater community and anybody who took part in that. So really kudos to the Skodak Police Department, Chief Oregon, Lieutenant Reichert, the entire force. I think they paid everybody overtime to be out and help us with traffic. We had representatives from all the local fire departments. They were all present. We were able to coordinate with all the chiefs of all the local fire departments. Castleton Ambulance was involved. And really cool, we had East Greenbush Fire Department had none of our local departments have a big ladder truck, and they brought the ladder truck over, and the parade ended with the big Garrison flag draped over the entryway, and that kind of was the end of our parade as the students pulled back into the high school lot. Just a lot of very positive comments from community members and from our parents. So I think it's important that you know that went off very well, very well received. Now I am hearing from our new seniors that is a tradition that they want to continue. So I know Miss Hill and I have already kind of talked a little bit about that, and it seems like they thought that was a pretty neat thing and a great way to celebrate our seniors. So stay tuned for more information on that. But really a great day and a great event. A lot of great planning by your high school principal and the team at the high school, who always pulls together to do a good job. But this year it was exceptional, and so thank you to all the folks who made that happen.
Before you jump off there, I just want to jump in and just, as the parent of a senior, thank you, and thank you from the board. I thought it was a great ceremony. I heard a lot of comments to me as well about the track and having it out there. And maybe it's just a different look from what we're used to, but a lot of positive comments about that. And to confirm, yes, the parade was not thought that it was going to go off well, but it did. So that was fantastic. I think we did a great job there. So kudos to Mr. Chevier, to you and your staff. Well done.
Thank you. We appreciate that. It was awesome. It's our pleasure to be able to do it. It was great to see a lot of smiling faces and to bring some joy to folks that night. It was awesome. So probably something we won't ever forget. Career stuff right there was pretty great. So do want to give the board an update since our last meeting as well. We held the first of 4 town hall meetings. As mentioned at our last board meeting, we're getting ready to launch the Reopening Schools Task Force. We had about 150 participants at that town hall meeting that we did virtually. We are using a technology called Nearpod that allows anybody who's in attendance to be able to go in and answer some questions. So we're gathering feedback instead of connecting virtually, and we see how clunky this can be sometimes when you try to have a discussion with people. It becomes challenging. So we're trying to leverage technology to gather information from folks on those committees. And we've received some good feedback from the town hall meeting. That was that was a week ago Monday. This past Monday, July 6th, we had our first steering committee meeting. And again, if you remember, that steering committee will be kind of a group that is responsible for synthesizing all the information that's shared from our advisory committees, and will help really with the decision making based on the recommendations from each of our advisory committees. We have a steering committee made up of 35 participants, which range from administration, faculty, staff, and a variety of parents throughout the building. I think we have a parent from every grade level represented on the steering committee, and some individuals with some pretty unique backgrounds. So we had our first meeting yesterday, and that was really to kind of lay the groundwork for the charge of the steering committee and what they will be charged with doing. And I think everybody left that meeting feeling very comfortable with what their task would be. And tomorrow starts day one of the advisory committee. So the instructional committee will meet tomorrow at 4 o'clock for its first meeting. And Thursday will be the budget and personnel committee will meet at 4 o'clock that day. We have ranging anywhere from about 15 participants. I think the budget and personnel committee is the smallest of the committees, but there are still stakeholders represented on that committee. Our instructional committee, as you would probably imagine, is the largest. We have about 60 participants on that committee. So a wide range of faculty and staff. We have students and parents that make up the instructional committee and all of our other committees as well. So the instructional committee is our largest with about 60 participants. And our other committees will vary in size, but none are bigger than the instructional committee. So we're looking forward to getting that process started. We greatly appreciate and value the feedback we've gotten so far. It's been very positive. One of the only challenges that I'm hearing is that our advisory committees are meeting at 4 o'clock. It doesn't accommodate working schedules. Part of that is just due to the sheer volume of meetings that we need to have, in addition to steering committee meetings and town hall meetings that will take place a little bit later in the evening. We tried to compromise, recognizing that we would have a high number of faculty and staff and students and parents that are working in that. So we picked 4 o'clock, hoping that that would be a time that some would be able to accommodate, but we have to recognize no matter which time we pick, it's probably going to be inconvenient for somebody. And I am very pleased that we've got a high number of community members participating on all of our committees. So feedback has generally been positive, and folks appreciate the opportunity to give voice to this. So we will keep at it, and we will keep you posted, and we will let you know how these meetings are going. I know there are some of you that have volunteered to sign up and be part of some of those teams. And we look forward to, those of you that have signed up. I know, I believe it was Mr. Heiser, Shelley, and I can't remember who the third was off. Maybe it was Sherry as well. And I think Sherry is not on the meeting tonight. So certainly your participation in those committees is welcome. And I look forward to your feedback in terms of the process and how that goes. But pretty massive undertaking. We've got some individuals are participating on multiple committees, but just between the town hall meeting, the steering committee meeting, and our advisory meeting tomorrow, we're looking at roughly 250 participants just over the course of those 3 meetings alone. So quite a few folks that are taking part. It's very encouraging, and we're excited to work with our community. Two other quick updates for you. I need to give kudos to Mr. Bennett, Mr. Derby and his team. We started in-person summer school at CES on Monday. Not all schools have moved forward with that. We felt compelled to give it a try for in-person summer school, recognizing guidance isn't entirely clear, but we do know the safety protocols and procedures we need to put in place. Monday, we welcomed probably a little over 20 kiddos into the elementary school for 3 different classes that were earmarked there. The space that we're using, students are asked to stay socially distant. They're wearing face coverings. We're protecting employees. We've got monitoring in and out, limiting adult traffic into the building, which is something we got to get used to. That's probably the way it's going to look if we have any sort of in-person return in the fall. And I will tell you, being down there on day 1 to welcome students into the building, some kids could not wait to get into class and be back in school. They were very excited. Other students and parents were a little cautious and a little anxious about their return and being around other people outside of their family, maybe some for the first time since all of this stuff has started. So I got to give credit to our faculty and staff when we posted that. We didn't have any trouble. Teachers stepped up to the plate, wanted to be involved and wanted to work with kids, and it was refreshing to hear their comments about being back in front of students again. So it's great work to Mr. Bennett and his team, and we are very, very excited that that is up and running, and we will keep you posted on how that goes as well. The last thing that I'll just share with you, Brian and I recently received a solar farm agreement. I'm going to remind you that we had some lengthy discussion about these pilots from solar farms and the 50-25-25 split, school, county, town. We had talked about 3 agreements coming through. We have already approved the first agreement. Number 2 will be on in August for you. That is a solar farm that will be going in at 13 Paul Road by the same individuals. So it's solar pilot number 2 that will be coming. You'll hear a little bit more about that, but I just wanted to kind of put it on your radar and recognize that number 2 will be coming through under the same type of agreement that we discussed and approved before. So stay tuned, more to come on that. That's it for me, Mr. Tuttle.
Any questions from the board on any of the updates? Any comments? Okay, looking forward to that reopening info that you get. Sounds like with that many people, should be some good stuff that comes out of there. So looking forward to that. Action item follow-ups. The athletic code of conduct that we discussed at the last meeting, that will be revisited in September. There was a group that for the high school that formed that Ms. Hill had. So I think we're going to revisit that in September. We can get those kids and the coaches back together, the ones who were the driving force behind that, and get that again, and then come back to the board. Yes, Mr. Chevier.
Yeah, if we can do it sooner, we will. But we'll do our best to try to get everybody together and use that committee process. So September would be the latest that we'll get back to you with a response on that.
Great, thank you. Community advisory committees we discussed last time. We'll revisit that in December. And the last thing I had for the action items was Shelley sent out a poll to everyone for the retreat topics. Just a reminder to the board about that email that went out. If you did not get that email, just contact Shelley. But if we can get some topics together for the retreat, then myself and Mr. Chevier can sit down and work something out for that agenda. Any questions or comments on action items? Okay, let's move into finance. So section 9, we've got items A through D: treasurer's report, claim auditor's report, approval of contract. There's probably about 5 or 6, 7, I think 7 contracts out there. None of the contracts are new. for the renewals, and a surplus list. So is there a motion to move 9A through D?
So moved.
So move. I'll second it then.
Thank you. Thank you. Any discussion on 9A through D? I see none, so motion. Did someone say something? That's just me echoing. Oh, all the mics are coming off. All right, let's move into voting. So, Mr. Charsky,
Aye.
Mr. Graninetti,
Aye.
Mr. Heiser,
Aye.
Mr. Hers,
Aye.
Mrs. Palmer,
Aye.
Mr. Peter.
Aye.
My vote is aye. Mrs. Arista.
Aye.
Okay, so motion passes. Dan, I thought maybe you taught your dog how to answer for you.
You got 2 ayes.
Okay, so motion passed. Section 10, resignation appointments. We have items A through F. Is there a motion to move items A through F?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Heiser. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Chuck. Discussions on item A through F. A, I would just like to bring up is a retirement. It's the resignation or for retirement purposes of Ruth Gregoire. It's stenographer at CES, effective August 28th. And we'd like to accept that with appreciation for the long service and regrets that she is leading. Is there any other discussions on items 10A through F? Yes, Mr. Vivian.
I just need to go on record. Ruth welcomed me to the elementary school 16 years ago when I became the principal down at CES. I would be remiss if I didn't chime in and just tell you how grateful I am for her 28 years of service to Castleton Elementary School. She has impacted generations of kids and families down there, and she will be long remembered for the great work that she did down there. I told her the other day that I owe her a tremendous amount of gratitude, and she is directly responsible for a lot of my success. I couldn't have done it without her. So we value Ruth. We certainly will. We're sad to see her go, but it's always bittersweet. We know she will enjoy her time in retirement, and are greatly appreciative of all that she has done for Schodack Central Schools and specifically Castleton Elementary. So I'm glad I'm on record saying that. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so all those in favor of moving 10A through F, Mr. Charsky,
Aye.
Mr. Graninetti,
Aye.
Mr. Heiser,
Aye.
Mr. Hersey,
Aye.
Mrs. Palmer,
Aye.
Mr. Peter.
Aye.
My vote is aye. Mrs. Jurista.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Motion passes. Okay, at this time, we will move back into public comment. Again, for the public out there, if anyone would like to address the board, please press *3, and then I will call on you. I don't see any of the mics unmute. For my own knowledge, could I get? I believe we have the AD out there, Mr. Silver. Mr. Silver, you're out there. Could you press *3 and just let me know if that actually works? I don't see it working. I'm going to unmute you.
I'm actually on the computer. I'm not on the phone, so I don't know if *3 would apply to me.
Probably not. Let me go try to find someone else. Thank you.
Sure.
All right, so there's a caller out there, and I can't see any of the numbers, which doesn't help me. But if one of the callers who's on the line would like to press *3 and just let me know that this actually works. see a hand out there. All right, I'm going to unmute the hand because my guess is you're going to tell me it doesn't work. Look, whoever put their hand up, did you press *3 and it put your hand up?
Yes, *3 will do raise your hand. Usually *6 unmutes you.
Ah, okay. So if I mute you, can you press *6 and tell me if that works? You're muted. All right. So, well, at least I found out.
At least if they press *3, they can raise their hand and we know we can unmute them.
Exactly. So we're going to go with that right now. All right. Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and close public comment at this time because it was very educational for me. And we'll move back into action items. Yeah.
I only have the follow-up on Ms. Yurista's question on safety.
That's what I got. Anyone else have anything that we missed as an action item? No. Okay. Any other last comments from the board or from any attendees, panelists? I mean, all right then. If no further business, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night. Mary, you want to stay on for a second if you haven't jumped off yet?
Nice work tonight, Mr. Heiser. Thank you for your patience.
Hey, Mike, do you want to stop the recording?
Oh, yes. If I can. Event recording.
Down at the bottom where your little buttons highlight.